Well, we're definitely going to drink with this food,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to give you some options on how to cook with booze.
Should you wish to incorporate booze into this, I think we've got a couple that are pretty strong.
Yeah, I think the first one I would start with is, when we did our episode all about French onion soup, I talked about how I'm not going to bother caramelizing those onions without doing a whole bunch of them. So I always have caramelized onions in my freezer. And, I cook those with some booze.
Yeah.
Right? Bit of cognac, bit of brandy. You can do bourbon, like whatever.
I think we had even cognac vermouth as well. I think we had in our, yeah.
Uh-huh. So, I just have those on hand, and they're an easy and delicious addition to a completed burger.
Yeah.
There's
There's that sweetness.
Right. They're almost a sauce in themselves because they're so tender and cooked down and, soft. At this point, you could probably even fold in a bit of bacon.
Ooh.
Just fold some diced bacon in there as you're reheating your caramelized onions in a small pot on the side of the grill or griddle or what have you. And so there's a great, easy way to incorporate some booze into a burger. What do you got?
So that would be the main one for me. The other one that I wanted to talk about as well is, what the first restaurant that I worked at, the Grill in Lincoln, we spoke about it before we left it.
Spelled with an E.
Grilly.
Grill.
This was at the height of the chefification of burgers.
Mm-hmm.
On reflection now, we went too far. Our chefs didn't question, how, or I forget that,
Just because we can.
Doesn't mean we should have done.
There we go.
So this burger, and it was served on a board,
Oh, of course.
with a cone of chips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, actually, no. I think by that point we'd got those mini deep fryer baskets, which are a pain to load up during service.
I don't know if it still exists, but I used to follow this great Instagram handle called We Want Plates. And it was just photographs that people sent in of wherever they were eating and whatever they were serving the food on, and it wasn't plates.
Yeah.
We want plates. Can we just get plates?
You know what slate tiles are good for?
Not
roofing.
For roofing and maybe your path in your garden.
I do not need my Roquefort on it.
Yeah.
So what
I'm glad to know you had to suffer that. I've never had to be in a place that had weird plateware.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it was worse as a runner because you were balancing these things on it. There were stairs that go up and down. But the burger we made there, now that we were exploring the science, we made every decision completely wrong. So I think I don't recall what the breakdown of fat to meat was in that. I don't really think conscious decisions were made there. I think they just ordered mince from the butcher.
Sure.
But I, on my days off, was able to get a couple of shifts in the kitchen. This was as I was just starting to take an interest in food. And the burger had this red onion, ketchup, I want to say wine as well, sugar, bit of brown sauce, bit of Worcestershire sauce, reduction.
Mm-hmm.
So finely diced red onions, and then in that mix, cook it right down to almost like a syrup so that the onions have no texture, but they're carrying this flavor.
Sure.
So you had your wine in there. As someone who's just starting out in the kitchen, they would make me finely dice the red onions to improve my knife skills. And then we would mix that with all the burger, with the mince, and really work it and pack it into these patties. And season it as
really
well,
get in
right?
there, Tim.
Seasoning the meat too.
Put your shoulder into it.
And I think, I seem to recall then we would portion those up at 150 to 180. I think it was probably closer to 180 grams. But yeah, so that's another way. If you want to put things through your mince,
mm-hmm.
If I was going to do it on a thicker burger, I'd probably just go very finely diced raw white onions. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do that if you wanted to bring booze into this dish.
Well, you could do that with minus the mashing it together so hard. Just gently fold that in. I would say even, sure, put it in there, but also just spread that on the bun, on the bottom bun.
Oh, yeah, even better.
Don't even put it in the meat. That sounds delicious. All those things are mouth-watering, right? You said brown sauce, which is basically HP.
HP sauce.
House of Parliament.
Yeah.
It's basically like the British version of A1,
mm-hmm.
along with ketchup, sugar, probably brown sugar embedding.
Yep.
You said red wine.
Red wine, Worcestershire sauce.
And tons of onions.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious, like a jam.
You didn't want to burn it. Let me tell you
right,
that.
Right, because it's going to, it's going to be a lot of work lost, and B, the dishwasher going to hate you.
Yeah.
We had rules at every kitchen I was the helm of. If you burnt something, you washed it.
Smart.
Yeah. You made people pay more attention. You can't just throw it over to the dish guy.
Good, because too often that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
What about some other boozy options for us here? You got anything else?
I mentioned them before, but I didn't mention booze about them. But like, let's cook some mushrooms and flambe those, with whatever booze you have on hand. Like some like delicious bourbon-y mushrooms with a bit of like rosemary in there.
Mm-hmm.
Love to put those on my burger.
Nice.
I like to have them on the side.
Yeah.
Just like
The portobello mushroom.
Oh, like a whole one? Sure.
Is big with the blue cheese burger era, for sure.
Yeah.
That became a thing. The only other thing I think you could potentially talk about is beer cheese. And why don't you tell us about beer cheese?
Well, beer cheese is when you take literal beer and you take some cheese and you put it through your food processor along with maybe some seasonings, paprika, garlic, onion, maybe even some actual diced onions, and make almost a spreadable. This is what you're getting when you go get those cheese balls. Take that mixture that I just mentioned and like soak it in red wine overnight, and then take that bowl out of the soaked red wine and roll it around in nuts, and that's your cheese ball for the holidays. They're flavorful and delicious, and there are places that use them on burgers. I don't think it's the best choice of cheese for the burger, so just if you're doing this just to squeak some alcohol into your preparation, I would say not the best idea. Although I do love beer cheese; it's delicious. I would make that and have it at the table with some crackers while people were waiting on their burger.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a way to get it in there. Yeah, the Welsh rarebit. Oh,
Welsh
sure.
rarebit. Love it. Great thing. That on some toast with some Worcestershire sauce on top. Beautiful.
I think you need to describe a rarebit. I don't think that our listener is probably keen on that, but I love them. We used to have one on the menu at one of my current restaurants.
Yeah, how'd you make them?
Well, we did it with, my restaurant's vegan, right? So we did it with a vegan cheese. But vegan cheeses have come so far,
Yeah.
I think in the last 5 years, we cracked the code because the big makers of the cultures to make cheese realized that there was money in making vegan cultures. And so now the cheeses are the same cultures. That's really what cracked the code.
Smart.
Yeah. Let me see. You make basically like a roux. You fold in your cheese and make a sort of a thick sauce. And then you take big slabs of bread and you smear it all over them and you broil it till it's kind of bubbly and kind of almost mottled with brown spots on it. And then that's it. It's a cheese toasty, but it's a special version.
With the roux, and then I think as well, like a lot of places, or places where I've worked, we've incorporated some form of mustard in there.
I was about to say mustard, yeah.
Mustard, yeah. Brings the sharpness. Mm-hmm. But again, that's such a rich ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for things to cut through my burger, not increase the richness.
Yeah, I got one more
okay.
for you that I'm only just remembering right this minute. A place that you and I both know and love here in New York City does this. They serve their burger plunged. It's not plunged. It's a ladle. They put the burger on the plate, and then they put a fat ladle of poivre.
Yes.
A very heavy peppercorn-laden gravy of sorts that's made with cognac. They serve it with gloves.
Listen.
Because there's no way to pick this thing up, and there's no way to feel proper eating a burger with a knife and fork either. So they bring you these gloves.
I've been meaning to try this.
It's Bar Snack, by the way.
Yeah, Bar Snack in the East Village. Wonderful place. We love it. Great pint of Guinness as well.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, great cocktails. Great stuff. Love them. I just don't think that I can try that menu item until it cools down a little bit here in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
Just
the weather, you mean?
The weather, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a real rich. I mean, it's basically a burger slathered in gravy.
I don't think exactly that's what I want to be having in 80-degree plus heat.
Sure.
Way to make yourself feel even more greasy and dirty.
Now, I haven't had it, and I haven't seen anyone have it. I've heard people talk about it, and I've seen a few Instagram posts. But I assume if they're giving you gloves, they're probably giving you a bib, because there's no way to travel this thing from the plate to your face without drips.
Well, I'm heading there tomorrow, so I'll scout out.
Do some journalistic investigation. Get back to us with the recon.
Final way to get booze into this.
Oh, you got one more. Let's go.
Just your classic bourbon barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But you know what I wanted to mention and why I wanted to mention this. So at the weekend, I was making ribs. Smoking ribs in the garden, just for internal use. Don't worry, you didn't get an invite because no one got an invite.
I know. I saw you post it, and the same thing that came to my mind comes to my mind every time I see you do this. It's such a long process, and you have one rack of ribs. Like, you may as well do as many as your grill will hold every time you do this.
It's more, what can my fridge hold? And we had other stuff that hadn't been cooked. It was very much on a whim. I'm like, I'm grilling today, so we're doing this. But for that, I specifically made our Manhattan Glaze that we did for the ribs episode.
Uh-huh.
It's so good, that sauce you came up with. Like, it's weirdly like used rye, sweet vermouth, bitters, ketchup. I think it's brown sugar, handful of other stuff. Reduce that down. Great. Amazing. There's this American whiskey base to it, like vanilla-y, that works so well, especially with the sweet vermouth. I'm like, this is a really good sauce, and that would go great on a burger as well. We've got some left over, so maybe I'll be doing burgers this weekend.
Sounds great. What time do I come over?
Internal use only, I'm afraid.